Hi, my name is Kent Eriksson and I'm here to present the paper called Social Network Analysis in Research on Digitalization in Sustainable Built Environment, a review of research accomplishments and future research challenges. I've written this paper together with Olli Vigren and Angelika Lindstrand. Social network analysis has been around for a while in academic circles, but it's been much more well developed and applied by industry actors such as Google, Facebook, Uber, and many others who actually build their businesses around networks and network analysis, and therefore use network analysis methods to analyze their customer base. The reason why we find this so good for built environment research is because you have many different kinds of actors that interact in multiple ways in an engineering project, especially in the construction sector. And you also find that there are different layers of networks. You can think of financial, legal, and technical layers, architecture, engineering, and of course, and you can also think of layers as those in the built environment life cycle, such as planning, design, construction, use, demolition, redevelopment, etc. So there are many application areas of social network analysis. Despite this, we only found 19 articles that deal with social network analysis in the built environment sector. And as you can see from this graph here, the number of SNA articles per year have been growing in recent years. So there is a growing interest, and that's great for our field, I think. We did analyze 506 articles on networks, and these are not solely focused on social network analysis as a method. And what these 506 articles on networks in the built environment show is that there is a great potential for contribution by social network analysis. In particular, we find that you can link objective and subjective data in different layers. That would be a great contribution, and we generally also find that detailed measurements of network actors, such as individual actors and corporate actors and project level actors, could be useful, how they are tied to each other and what kind of relationships they had. And here social network analysis allows for bidirectional and unidirectional relationships, and that could be very interesting because you can study such factors as in degree and out degree of flows. And you can also study layers of networks, for instance institutional layers and financial layers and engineering layers. We did actually analyze the potential contribution by SNA for each of the topic areas of management, economics, building production, collaboration, AEC services, procurement, etc. for the built environment. And we found in general great potential for contribution. We also read up on the publication that Olli and colleagues wrote in the Engineering Project Organization Journal on the Engineering Project Organization grand challenges, and we studied how SNA can meet those grand challenges. And in general, we find that the grand challenges pop up in several ways that can be addressed using a social network analysis. And one is that the new project manager is actually a person that is tied in different networks, both within the corporation and within the project, that may span corporate boundaries and international boundaries. So the new project manager is an area where SNA can make a great contribution. Project networks, of course, because these are networks. innovation and growth strategies are usually transcend organizational boundaries, and whenever you transcend boundaries, then you can use network analysis, because networks do actually transcend boundaries, and you can analyze the inhibiting factors and the promoting factors that work inside and outside of corporations and countries and various institutional contexts. There is great importance of systems integration, because we find that one of the grand challenges in engineering projects is that sometimes you need to take a systems perspective to realize perceived benefits. And here you can also find great contributions and usefulness of social network analysis. And of course, as mentioned earlier, when you look across the different phases and include the entire life cycle, you find that networks in the planning phase and the design phase, the construction phase and the operation and maintenance phase, they rarely are the same, and it would be useful to study to what extent this is facilitating or perhaps having an adverse effect on the overall value of the created in the life cycle of project. And of course, the ultimate goal would also be to develop governance models that can provide more value over the life cycle using social network analysis. So, with those words, I would like to thank you, and I would also like to say that we are now in the process of developing more papers using empirical data, and we find the engineering project or community as a great place for doing social network analysis, and we're grateful for the researchers in the community who have already done research using that method. Thank you very much, and see you next year.